27-yard run.
Hey Roadrunners, welcome back. It's Friday before Rice. Happens to be my birthday. So Roadrunners, go out there and give me a birthday present tomorrow and go whoop those Rice Owls behinds. And let's win for sure hosting Conference USA Championship. Apparently in a three-way tie, there is a way. And we all need to look at it as, what does Conference USA want? Because there's no way with the Roadrunners finishing 8-4, having a non-conference win over Rice, with FIU being 7-5, right? This assumes we lose out. Somehow they would be a higher ranked team any way, shape, or form. If that happens, they're going out of their way to find some ranking, or someone somewhere just doesn't understand college football any way, shape, or form, right? But we win, we host, no matter what. We just win one game, right? What's the weather going to be like? The weather's going to be cold and rainy. Sub 50 and 95% chance of rain. Now, I can tell you in Houston, when it's sub 50 and it's raining, it's cold outside. It's very cold outside. How did our Roadrunners handle it last year? Rowdy remembers, do you remember? Went up to North Texas and got just beat bad. Played horrible on top of it, right? Here's the difference. We're not coming off of an emotional win to win the Western Division, right? We still have motivation to play going forward, right? What works in our favor also, looking at the stats, Rice doesn't run the ball that well. We run the ball better than Rice. So if it's raining and it's cold, running the football is going to be a bigger influence on the game than passing it. Our stats are so much better than theirs all across the board, right? Except for yards allowed. We allow more yardage. We give up more yardage. Now, some of that has to do with we are defending conference champions. When we played teams, we played UAB on the road in bad weather. It was raining there too. We put up a lot of yardage against UAB, far more than they did. If I look at the records here, I'm going to look it up just real quick. So let's see. They played UAB early in the season. Played them at home though, right? They beat them 28-24. So if I look at team stats, UAB only put up 360 yards, and they stopped Rice for 209 yards. How they won? Turnovers, probably. Pick six, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to look at the box score real quick. TD, rushing, defense. Rice interceptions, 2 yards, 0, no TD. Somehow, some way, they just they won that game. They probably got turnovers near the end zone, something like that, to have that few of yards and still win a football game 28-24. I don't see that happening, but don't be surprised. We're defending conference champs. We come in with that aura about us, right? Everybody wants to beat us. Every program hates that we're in Conference USA with them because we're so new at football. We haven't paid our dues. Well, I'm going to say this. If that's Rice's mentality, well, I want to ask, when was the last time Rice kept up with their dues? What have they brought to Conference USA? You can say, oh, they won the 2014 Conference Championship. Okay. You still shouldn't have been the host. That should have been hosted up in Marshall. That was a big time issue I have with Conference USA. That's why I mentioned what happened earlier. That's why I mentioned earlier the possibility. Does Conference USA want to hose UTSA? Now, here's the best part. FAU's going. Rice is going. Anybody in the discussion of hosting the conference championship, being in the conference championship, is going to whatchamacallit anyway. WKU is the only outside only outsider with a shot. And I don't see how they get into the conference championship because UNT has only lost 2 games right now, and they have one final game against Rice. So we'll see. And they wouldn't be able to host over UTSA anyway with 2 losses, right? Because they have 3 in conference. So this is a win. The boys should be motivated. They should be able to just straight up go after Rice, run the football at them. Now, I'm going to look at that UAB game again one more time. Team stats. UAB passed for 238, only ran for 122. Rice only gives up, if I look at Rice on the season, during this matchup, Rice gives up on the season, yards allowed, rushing yards allowed, 158. We average 153. So they held UAB down in the rushing department. They only give up 218 yards passing, but they haven't played the most dynamic G5 offense so far. And that's UTSA. We are an offensive juggernaut at the G5 level. Our 5 receivers, you know who they are, right? Brendan Brady catching the ball out of the backfield. Those add up. And then when you add in Frank Harris, who, playing like the seasoned veteran he is, just knows when to run, knows to go get 5, 6, 7 yards. He's hard to defend. This is what I've been talking about when I talk about Brendan Brady's impact and how he sets up. And last year, same thing, how he set up Sincere McCormick. He hits the holes he's supposed to hit most of the time. You think, wow, I only went for 2 yards, whoop-de-doo. Yeah, but when you have a quarterback that wears out those defenses because we're in a pass situation, they're getting upfield, he gets around them, gets himself 7 yards. That wears down that defensive line on top of having to hit that same hole. You know Brendan's going to hit that hole. He's going to use his 215 pounds. He's going to use his size. He's going to use those offensive linemen and push on those defensive linemen and keep pushing on them. That wears them down. And then, because when they start getting upfield trying to get to Frank, he scoots out. He's gone. That's demoralizing. That's tiring also. It's more than just demoralizing. It's tiring because you have to constantly switch gears on how you get after somebody. And if you have to squeeze the pocket on Frank, what are you using? Energy against another large human being trying to get to Frank. And our offensive line is bigger than people give us credit for. We have all those injuries. And think about how big those are big boys. They're not small kids. They're some big boys. That's why Brendan hitting that hole. That's why Brendan getting 47 yards on, say, 10 carries. It doesn't look impressive, but what it does for the rest of the offense, right? It's like that point guard in football, in basketball, right? That just knows how to find the guy who's open or the pre-guy who's open, right? He gets a pass over there, and then all of a sudden an opening sets up for the next guy. He doesn't necessarily get the assist, but because he got the defense to switch and move around, it opens up on the second pass, right, to a wide open guy with a 3. You see it in basketball all the time. That's what makes a point guard great. He's not waiting for that guy to get wide open. He knows that there's an opening, get the ball over there, get the defense to move, and then that guy's responsibility, the small forward, gets it over to the shooting guard. Boom, up, it's in, right? Kind of the same thing, kind of the same philosophy. I look forward to a slow game, a low-scoring game. Don't be surprised, because if I look at Rice, their points allowed per game is 34. This can be bad weather, right? We only allow 28, but they allow 34. But this can be bad weather. We scored 38, but they only scored 28. This can be a low-scoring game. That weather, at night, rain and cold. Let's just get the dub, get out, get back to San Antonio with guaranteed hosting, and let's just take care of business. Now, if I look at their best runner, right? So if we look at receiving yards, Cephas is on the season is our best receiver. Their best receiver, 733 yards, 8 TDs, but he's not sharing the load, right? I mean, that's one guy. With how little they pass the ball, that's one guy. We roll coverage to him. I think we'll be okay. Their best rusher is 452 yards. Brendan Brady has 623. Think about that. Their best rusher, 70 carries, 452 yards. Oh, that's pretty good, but still only 452 yards. Now I get it that they played USC and got smoked, but okay. There's 9 other games. Brendan Brady, 146 carries, 623 yards, 9 TDs. Passing, 2,100 yards to Frank's 3,000 yards. He's thrown 14 interceptions. Like I said, look for us to get control. If he has to throw the ball, look for us to get control of that football and then just run. I would love to see us just run the football. Have the third string back in there many times, and let's just push on them. Let's lean on them. Let's use size. Hopefully Sackett doesn't have to kick any field goals, but if he does, let's kick it from the 10, put it through the upright, go back, play defense, get the ball in, kick it from the 10, right? 27-yard field goals. Let's put it up and in. And let's just walk out with a very slow-moving, we keep the ball for 35 minutes, they're 25 minutes, type of win, right? Let me look at their time of possession. Let me see if I can see their time of possession. They don't share that. That would be more in the advanced stats, and I'm just looking at the overall stats for what we're going through, what we're going to see. Money line is 13.5 favorite UTSA. I don't see us winning by 13.5. I'm being dead serious. Unless we win like 17-3, right? I just don't see the conditions leading to that. And the over is 56 points. I think both of those are bad bets. I would take the under. And to be honest with you, take Rice with the points, right? But I would definitely take the under. I just don't see us scoring 30 points in the weather tomorrow. And I don't see them scoring 30 points. That gets you to 60 points, right? I just don't see that happening. Now, according to Matchup Predictor, we have an 83% chance of winning. Don't believe that. Don't believe that at all with the weather and everything. We win. But I think it's going to be a 10-point victory. I think it's going to be something silly like 17-10 or 17-7, something like that. Don't be surprised. 17-6, 20-10, something like that. This is the kind of weather that the ball slips through you. We saw it last year. Punts, the ball slipped through you. The best thing we could do is on a punt, just have a kid back there and just let it roll. Don't even touch it. No matter, no way. Especially if we're up, then we'll just move the ball down the field. Just move the ball down the field. And then we punt to them. Let them try to catch it. Right? Old school football. Old school football. Now, I want to go back to our schedule and talk about our UAB game, right? Where we had to win in overtime. Now, that was bad weather. That was on the road. We look at team stats. I mean, we put up 494 yards. They had 553. They threw the ball way better than us. Ran the ball better than us. Turnovers, right? One interception separated the game. It's just weird how that was one of the few times that a school outgained us in a game like that, right? So when it was like us against Western Kentucky, it was just a throw fest, right? So you kind of expect that because that's what they do, right? And we went up and down the field, up and down the field, up and down the field. This one we kind of, I don't know. It didn't feel like that same type of game because we really controlled that first 15 minutes, first 20 minutes of that game, big time. We did. Now we played in overtime and finished it off, but we had a chance to beat them worse than those stats say. A lot of that has to do when you get in there, you run the football a little bit more, take that field goal, stopping the clock, right? Time of possession, they had 31 minutes of possession, we still won. Better teams do that. Better teams do that. But you also set yourself up for failure. We learned against La Tech. We just went out and were ourselves at home. Now, that was a bad weather game too. And they were at home. This is a shorter trip for us, easier trip for us. Get on the bus, right? There's no plane to worry about. You get on the bus and you got a 2.5 hour drive from, campus, UTSA, straight down I-10. It's literally straight down I-10, straight east of I-10. Go into town, find your hotel, stay there. Easy enough to do, right? And then drive in I-10 to West University. So if you ever hear me refer to them as the West University Owls, you'll know now, because they actually, the school's in West University Place. So the West University Owls. They actually have their own police force. It's actually its own city. So not Rice, but the city that they're in. So yeah. Anyway. So don't think you go there, oh, West U, that's just the police for the Rice. No, it would say Rice Police on it. West U is literally its own police department. I have a buddy who used to work for me, now works for HPD. He was also police officer of the year when he worked for West U. Anyway, good luck tomorrow. I don't know. It's a game time decision as to whether I get dressed up and I go to the stadium. I'm 5 miles away from it. Super easy to get there. But man, 48 degrees, 95% chance of rain, open air stadium, old stadium, all concrete, aluminum benches. I'd be standing up underneath something anyway, not really watching the game. I ain't going to stand out in the rain. That's for sure. You can guarantee that. I ain't standing out in the rain. I ain't young enough to do that. I like I said, I just had my birthday. I turned 56 today. This body don't like that weather anymore. I'm a South Texas boy by heart and by birth and by raising and by everything. Even though I lived in Ohio for 10 years, I left that weather. All right. Peace out, Roadrunners. Let's go get this victory. And Rowdy says, with the medallion, it's going to have a battery after tonight. I got to go to CVS and get a battery for the medallion. And it'll be super lit again. Peace out from the lit medallion. Let's go, Roadrunners.